Hello, Pisces. How are you doing? I'm gonna be doing your November reading. I had a reading going for you, and had a phone call, and yeah, it didn't go so well. So I'm gonna redo your reading. But if I feel like those messages in that first reading are present in this reading, then I will let you know about them. We're gonna start with the Earth Wisdom and pull 3 cards for you. Hope you all are doing well. We have Practical Intuition. We have Divine Love. One more card for Pisces, please. One more card for Pisces. And then we have Rest. And funny thing is Rest came into your first reading. Now I'm going to be pulling 3 cards from Mystic Sisters. Hold on. Definitely jumped out there. Speaking of Mystic Sisters, that's what's pulled. Kind of a twin flame energy coming from there, or soulmate. Snake Charmer. Then we have Mind Garden. So I'm feeling pretty much the same reading as before, but there's a little bit different cards on the table. Which maybe, yeah, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, so maybe with these new cards it's gonna kind of hit home a little bit more. But the one thing that was hitting in that last reading was rest, relaxation, being in your mind a lot, your thoughts about something. Could be a decision. So we're going to start with this Practical Intuition. Developing spiritual abilities wait, hold on. Sorry, let me start over. Developing spiritual abilities is not the end of the world. That is a typo. Okay. It is not the end of the journey. Just as the spring equinox heralds new life and new beginnings, knowledge is the start of a deeper path. Through application of spiritual skills to creating blessings in the world, we connect more deeply with spirit and gain wisdom. I use my knowledge and understanding to solve practical problems. Through my wisdom, I help increase beauty in the world and help support the beneficial flow of energy. So there's a feeling of you guys are dealing with some, practical problems, but you're also using your spiritual intuition and taking on those problems, which is definitely a good thing. I mean, I've always had to use my intuition in just about everything that I do. So the fact that you are using your intuition, my hat is off to you, especially with practical problems, because some people look at practical problems and think practical solutions. And in some cases, you need that spiritual intuition. And now we have divine love. We are humans who carry within us the light of the divine, and as such, we are capable of expressing that love. Even when circumstances make it difficult, it is easier to slip into love and compassion when you've experienced it yourself. Open yourself up to divine love. Make a commitment to it. Bind yourself to it. Tie a ribbon around your wrist to remind you of your divine marriage. I am loved. I am committed to nurturing my loving relationship with the divine and with all beings. So I'm also getting kind of a couple different groups here. One is basically your relationship to the divine. You're strengthening it. You are embracing who you are. And there's also a group that I feel like this is a love offer. Maybe those are the practical problems that you're coming across, that you're having to use your intuition on in approaching this person. Or even maybe you guys are already in a relationship and you're just running into, like the stupid things. And we have rest. When we are exhausted and worn out, nothing seems to go right. Bad luck and clumsiness haunt our steps. Make sure you honor the needs of your body, mind, and spirit. By allowing for ample rest, you will be surprised how differently things look after a good night's sleep, and will find that good fortune is so much easier to find. I value the gift of sleep, which provides rest for the body and mind, and opportunities for the spirit. I make significant time for sleep. And it's weird how rest is one of those things that it's it you need it, right? You need it, but sometimes it's the hardest to obtain in life. Getting that rest that you need to move on with your day the next day, or but it's pretty it's pretty strong in this reading, because as I said, it was pretty strong when I started this reading before, and then had that interruption, which maybe is also a sign. As I was talking about rest and having the interruption, there's a lot of you guys out there that are trying to get the rest that you need, but it's always interrupted. Then we have Mystic Sisters. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this is from my Mystic Sisters deck. And this represents psychic connections and shared visions. Mystic Sisters remind you to trust and value your closest friends. Seek their advice and offer yours to them. If you are not able to physically visit them, try connecting them by psychic means. Contacting them by psychic means. There are those special few we meet in our lives with whom mysterious bonds form so deeply it feels like we've known each other's souls before in previous incarnations. These friendships offer lessons through which we can correct our karmic behavior. They awaken us to hidden gifts of character. Perhaps they have some aspect you admire, but find lacking in yourself. All it may take to resolve your present issue is to channel your friend's nature. Let their voices be a guide. Send them love and gratitude in return. So as I mentioned, when this card popped out, because this is the one that popped out, and I felt like it was kind of a twin flame soul mate connection, and there you go. But I'm also getting everything on here. Hold on, give me a second. Let me bring in some of this energy because I'm getting all kinds of things at the moment. So you have the divine love, you have the practical intuition, and then now you have the Mystic Sisters. Some of you are obviously done with the soulmate, twin flame, and you have to use your intuition on the practical problems that are arising, because there are people that are brought into our life that bring out, I wouldn't say the worst, but at least the things that we need to kind of take a look at. And I feel like there's a group of you that are kind of struggling with this. You don't know how to approach the problems that you two are having. You feel love for this person, but you're just not 100% sure on how to deal with them. So I'm going to offer some advice. Okay, the things that you guys are struggling with, the things that you are, that keep popping up in your guys' relationship, I would suggest taking kind of a step back and looking at what brings these problems to light, and then face them with a practical solution to it. So say you guys are fighting about just one of those things, that couples fight about. Talk to them and say, hey, why do we always have to have this come up into our relationship? What is it that we can do to stop this from coming up all the time? And I can promise you that things will get better, because I feel like for those of you who are struggling with this, it's affecting your sleep, it's affecting your rest. And then now we have Snake Charmer. And this card represents the obsidian and fixation. The Snake Charmer sits entranced in her own shadowy world. Although beauty surrounds her, she cannot take time to enjoy it. She must not break her concentration on the poisonous snake in front of her, or a dangerous outcome would likely occur. This card deals with bad habits you wish to break. An activity that once brought you pleasure and gave you a sense of power has now become a detrimental obsession. This situation has been a progressive one, created through time. A cautious disentanglement is required, and seeking others to help you will make the change much easier. So back to that group that I was just addressing. Again, just try and work at these things as a team. If you're trying to deal with it on your own, or vice versa, they're trying to deal with it on their own, like, you're not really gonna get anywhere with it if one person is trying so hard to get over it, while the other one's just, in a sense of, not that they don't care, it's just that maybe some of them don't even know what's happening. Maybe they don't realize what's going on at this time, and they're not going to unless you bring it to their attention and let them know that you want to resolve it. And then you have Mind Garden. And this card represents personal empowerment and constantaneous. The image of this card symbolizes how the mind is similar to a garden, and that all thoughts are seeds. If the thoughts are beautiful and positive, the fruit produced will be nourishing and delightful. When dark and negative thoughts are allowed to dominate the mind, they can be likened to weeds crowding out your healthy thoughts, and they will produce foul fruit. Drawing this card reminds you to pay close attention to what seeds of thought you are planting and allowing to flourish in your mind garden. Recurring negative weed thoughts should be recognized and pulled so they do not choke out your benevolent thoughts that bear life-giving fruits. Constantaneous and careful tending are required. And yeah, so again, it's just, with those practical problems, and then you have these thoughts that are just surrounding those problems. And some of those thoughts I feel like are negative thoughts. So that's another thing too. With the rest, it will help. It'll allow you to have a clearer mind, and therefore you'll be able to nourish your mind garden, your thoughts. Because it's not like, I know that when you have negative thoughts, it's not like you want those negative thoughts to surround your thoughts and your mind, but it happens. Especially when you're having problems and you're not even trying to come up with any solutions to solve those problems. It's going to bring those negative thoughts in and just create this clusterfuck. Excuse the language. But there's a lot of, and then if you can get through all these practical problems with this solutions, of whether it be using your intuition or practical solutions, at least you're trying to solve them, right? And if you do reach that point to where you are solving them, then I feel like a lot of you will get that rest that you're so much wanting right now. Alright, so as far as the cards that are on the table, they're done. I have some messages that we're bringing in from the Lantern Oracle. We pull 2 cards from this Oracle deck. Got Melting Mask. And that's the thing too, is I think there's a lot of you that are kind of hiding these problems. Like you see them rise up, but you don't say anything. And just let them, turn into that cluster of fuckness. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. And then we have circles. So with the melting mask, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. Circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. And that's another thing, is I think that there's a lot of you that feel like you're just continually going around in circles. Like, these problems that are arising, they just keep popping up and you're just going in circles. Well, that's, given when you don't say what's on your mind and want these, voice that you want solutions to these problems. Alright, so I have 2 more messages coming from angels, gods, and goddesses. We have angel of guidance and goddess of strength. So, a renewed sense of direction and purpose will soon manifest. So, some of you are probably already know what to do and are going to take the steps into doing it and create the solutions that are needed. And then you have the goddess of strength. Stand up for what you believe. You will gain respect by holding your ground. So, another thing, while you are addressing these problems and wanting solutions in this connection, don't forget to also stand your ground. Now, I'm not saying, be an asshole, but at least have the stern ability to say what it is that you want to say while trying to find these solutions at the same time. Well, Pisces, that is it for this November reading. I am going to be doing bonus readings in December for all the signs. So in December, look out for that. So you will have 2 coming out in December. And we'll be seeing you in December. I wish you all the best. And I'm sending you light and love.